My name is Revoke. I'm from Los Angeles. We're here in Brooklyn doing a show at the Powerhouse Gallery, presented by Boost Mobile. The piece I did in here, I didn't create this piece beforehand. None of the artists did. We all came out here and just created it here in the spot, the space. We had a couple days to create the artwork, and just as you see it right now on the wall is how we created it. We just installed the pieces and banged it out in a couple days. And yeah, that's about that. I've been doing graffiti for going on 20 years. And just trying to keep it moving, doing something a little bit different here on the walls inside the gallery. When it all comes from the street, that's who we are, that's what we're about. MSK, AWR, 7th letter group, Los Angeles. And then about Boost Mobile.
Graffiti lesson.
LA's got a long history, not nearly as deep or rich as New York's history, obviously. But I grew up a young kid growing up in the suburbs of Los Angeles, looking up to a lot of different people. Guys like Risky, guys like Kranz, guys like Dream, SND, KSN crew, K2S crew. These are guys that me growing up as a young kid were like they were the ultimate to me. Charlie, DTK, guy was the master of style to me, for the West Coast. And our history, our legacy of graffiti is a little bit different than New York's. Definitely, New York played a major role in it, or influenced by the New York masters. But I'm just a kid who grew up just loving graffiti, just trying to do what I saw these older guys doing that I really respected and admired so much. And who would ever? I never in my wildest fantasies could have ever imagined that it would take me to the type of places I've gone and here today, doing graffiti, painting walls, doing exhibitions. For me, I just wanted to be up and do cool pieces like the guys I respected and admired so much. For us in the West Coast, it's one and the same. There's not a big distinction or separation between the two. When I go out, still to this day, I'm very active, and when I go out doing shit in the street, I'm more or less doing the same thing I do, on a wall or when I'm piecing, maybe a scaled down, quicker version of it. But the first piece I did was probably in late 90, early 91. It was on the freeway in the suburbs, outside LA.
How long was it up for?
How long was it up for? It was up for about 2 days.
Do you remember who went over it or what happened?
Nobody went over it. The city buffed it. That's how it is. That's how it is in California. That's why we do what we do. That's why we climb up on these ledges and do the back of these heavens and back of these billboards and do all this retarded, outlandish shit, because that's what you got to do to survive. That's what you have to do to get your graffiti to run and see the next day. If you just paint little spots on the ground in the street where anybody can walk up to it, it's not going to last, it's not going to ride, it's going to get buffed quick, because that's how it is in California. California, you either ride the bus or you ride in a car. If you ride the car, you ride on a freeway. The freeways are the mass transit of Southern California. So for us, the freeways were the subways to us. We didn't grow up looking at graffiti on subways. We grew up riding the car on the freeway or riding the bus and seeing pieces either along the bus lines or along the walls and the rooftops along the freeways. That was our subways. And still to this day, that's the emphasis and the main focus of bombing in Southern California and Los Angeles. Before my day, there was like a writer's bench on Fairfax. There's been a lot of places. Belmont Tunnel was always like a big kind of epicenter of LA graffiti. There's been a lot of places throughout the years, but LA is a real spread out city, and it's just in the streets, it's in the freeways. That's where the graffiti lives and breathes in LA. They're old. Excuse me, whew, this sangria is getting me. They're old crew from way back when, the West Side. Actually, there's a lot of good writers from KGB. Famous actor, the guy David Arquette, he was from KGB. And there's a lot of good writers from the crew KGB.
Really?
The main crew from the West Side.
Yeah.
The original West Side crew, well, there's two of them really, depending on who you talk to. But the two crews from the West Side that were a major influence in LA graffiti, that were kind of like the Big Daddy crews of KGB was KSN and WCA, and then from the East Side you had K2S and STM, and those were the founding forefathers of LA graffiti and style.